Men of Reddit, what's the biggest turn off for you? When girls don't eat, when you take them out, and you can hear their stomach growling in a packed restaurant. Wow, this actually happens? Why would they not eat? They are embarrassed, or insecure and want to maintain the shallow pretty image, and not wolf down on food. That's my guess. It's happened a handful of times. They watch me eat with envy. Some fancy diet maybe. Some people actually think that starving themselves is a form of diet and is gonna do good. Because society enforces unhealthy and unattainable image standards on women, and sadly some women feel the need to comply. Oh, I kinda did this, not intentionally, but I had an eating disorder. The guy current BF knew about it and bought me some chips and some water and didn't get annoyed when I didn't eat much, which was nice of him. Low self-esteem. One of my exes needed me to constantly tell her that she was pretty sexy, not fat, looked good in every single outfit. She'd demand that I give specific and detailed compliments, which she would immediately disagree with. I felt bad for her, but despite many conversations, could never get her to recognize that it's not perfectly normal to hate yourself, and that seeing someone might help. It's not why we broke up, but by the end I had almost zero attraction to her, because she had no attraction to herself. Part of why my last potential relationship didn't pan out. No one had ever told me that my low self-esteem was a problem until a couple months ago, but it makes sense as to why. Tests? If you like me for me, then why are you testing your perception of my integrity? Yeah, I don't like playing games. I mean what I say and say what I mean. Distrust because you are insecure isn't attractive. There's nothing wrong with insecurity, but there are so much more healthy ways to deal with it together than one-sided hoop jumping and setting someone up to fail. Thankfully my experience of tests in relationships are minimal, but I've seen up close in the relationships of friends where one-sided mistrust has breeded contempt. Wait. If you can't take care of your body, then I will never date you. It's one thing to not be physically attracted to bigger people, but saying it's a lack of being able to take care of themselves is unbelievably ignorant. I'm not talking about bigger people. I'm talking about fat people. It is easy not to be fat, thus if you are fat then you are not able to take care of yourself. Don't forget that some people are at a genetic disadvantage in terms of this. Some people have to constantly fight an uphill battle. It may be considered shallow, but if I notice things like finger and toenails that aren't well taken care of, I assume hygiene overall is neglected, and that's a turn off for me. Additionally, taking sarcasm too far. Everyone is sarcastic, that's how most of us make it through the day lol. But when it's all the time, or goes far enough to feel aggressive and or disrespectful, that's gross. This might just be me, but I'm not a fan of being called daddy whilst engaging in certain bedroom activities. It happened to me once, when I was hooking up with a girl and it completely threw me off. Then the second time it happened I tried to roll with it, but just could not shake off how weird it is to be called that while I'm going to Pound Town. Bad hygiene is number one. If a girl has dirt under nails constantly, looks like she hasn't showered in a week, and is emitting odors, that could clear a crowd, but masking them off with perfume, yeah, it's a no for me dog. Sadly I've seen exactly what I've described. Constantly on phone, especially when on a first date photographing her meal, to post on social media wearing any kind of boots, if she's not a cowgirl, or in the military too much makeup talking about exes too much politically brainwashed in any direction hate psyche. Going right for the DK. I mean, I at least want to hear about your day or something. A lot of people from dating sites are like that, because of hookup culture IQM. I'd say this is mostly preference. I was on a date the other day with this pretty girl and she just kept talking and talking and talking about exes and old flings, and then dropped the "I guess I attract crazy" bombshell line. Got home and instantly told her I'm not interested in meeting again. Huge turn off when a girl has no manners. Whether that be the way they treat those that they perceive as beneath them or them being okay with just burping and farting in public. I don't do that, and I don't want you to either. Making me do things I'm not comfortable with, or trying to change who I am. But the biggest by far is not respecting my alone time. It's not that I don't want to be with you, I just need time for myself. Toxic one-upmanship and insecurity. I also don't care about your job title or degree. Narcissism, victimhood, and entitlement. I also don't like smokers and heavy drinkers. I remember the first time I kissed a girl that had just smoked a cigar. I was immediately turned off to the point where I didn't know if I even wanted to pursue anything with her, and she was smoking hot. Militant feminists could go from 11, 10 to 0, 10 in one sentence. But you're one of the good ones. Not really, I'd be a terrible feminist. Unpopular opinion, but don't call me daddy. Doesn't feel right. It's become so sexualized that if I have a daughter in the future she's gonna have to call me anything else. Smartphone addiction and women without passions and hobbies. Oh, I just like to do things. I understand, but what things do you like the most? Everything. Trying to be one of the guys. The cool girl or the chill girl. I mean when it's faked or exaggerated. All of my friends are guys. I think that's weird. 1. Smoking anything or vaping. 2. Being judgmental about how I spend my free time. Yeah, maybe I'm contradicting myself, but oh well. No self-esteem. Doesn't mean you should be full of yourself, but total lack of confidence is obvious, even if you look amazing on the outside. Pain-pleasure complex. Smoking. Baby voices. Starve themselves to death to look good. Any plastic surgery. Gold digger. Personality intelligence. I've met so many beautiful women, only to be completely turned off as soon as they say something. If they don't have basic manners, like if they burp and don't say excuse me or something like that, this makes me sound like a nice guy. A woman not talking. If I ask a question on a date you can just leave, it would be a lot less awkward than giving me 21-word answers. Questions. Also, using the word like, you know, like all the time. Like that's so, like, annoying. Excessive interest in social media. Phone addiction. Lack of willingness to use critical thinking skills, even if they have them. When you don't pay your bills and utilities start getting turned off. The internet, electricity, water, gas. Not being open-minded. While limit yourself when there's a whole world with a vast variety of cultures to experience. In regards to appearance, too much makeup. In personality, someone dishonest with who they are. I don't have high standards, but the one thing that does turn me off is too much gums to teeth ratio. Whenever we go to public events or concerts and the other person tries to record it on their phone. When they talk about their ex, you're clearly not over them, and I'm not about that at all. Stench, rotten teeth, pessimistic and conniving. That would undo it for me. Loud eating and bad personality, 2 major pet peeves of mine, especially in a relationship. Realizing she internalized ideas and values straight out of the feministic echo chamber. When a girl spends 90% of the dinner on her phone. Not even worth the effort. Disrespectful nature, general rigidity, has installed BuzzFeed app. Talking with an upward inflection, making everything sound like a question. When they have absolutely no trust towards you, no matter what you do. Just trying to act like really quirky. It's just annoying to me. Political, smoking, kids wanna parent my own kids. Insecurity, acting dumb thinking it makes them more attractive. Getting fat after we're together. That and smoking, of course. Getting upset and just refusing to talk over the smallest things. If a woman smells and still obsesses over her ex. I think it's a super big turn off when the girl is dead. Kids. An accurate representation of what happens when my toe hits the power button on my surge protector. Pierced septum, that's just the dumbest looking thing to me. Bad breath. Please brush your teeth. Smoking cigarettes or elective ignorance. Obnoxious and all lack of self-awareness. When their body starts getting cold. When they smoke or have a tattoo. Tobacco products, illegal drugs. 6-packs, I'm sorry but no mate. Drug use and excessive swearing. When they are blatantly shallow.